Well, hello everyone. Hello and welcome to my world. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host, and I'm excited to be here with you tonight. You know, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. You know, our guiding leadership principle is the law of consistency, which says motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you going and growing. You see, you have to develop the good habits that lead to success. Just showing up is 80% of success. See, some people just don't show up. So you can beat pretty much anybody out just by consistently showing up. You know, the boss, Bruce Springsteen, said himself, he says, a time comes when you need to stop waiting for the man or woman you want to become and start being the man or woman you want to be. So tonight we have another dynamic leader in the studio with us, and I'm excited to have her on the show. So make sure you get a pen, you get some paper, and you get ready because you're going to get some dynamic information tonight. So we have in studio with us Miss Denise Williams. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Denise is known as the Procurement Queen. Now, you'll understand why here in just a second, but Denise Williams is America's favorite procurement educator. She helps small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs better navigate the government and the private contracting process via the delivery of courses that include seminars, workshops, and curriculum and training. Her seminars are engaging, and she provides her clients with valuable information to compete for contracts, whether you're talking about local government, state government, or federal government, folks. Be ready tonight. I'm telling you, Denise has over 18 years of experience and has held positions with increasing level of responsibility in her corporate career. She started as a financial analyst, then moved to a senior financial analyst before being promoted to assistant director of purchasing at one of the largest school districts in New Jersey. As the assistant director of purchasing, she was responsible for oversight of the procurement process. This is why she's the procurement queen. Strategic sourcing, e-procurement functions, and she managed a team of strategic sourcing analysts. Denise earned a bachelor's degree in finance from Rutgers University and an MBA and accounting from St. Peter's University. She is qualified as a purchasing agent for the state of New Jersey. She is registered. She's a registered public purchasing officer, and she holds a diploma certification from the Chartered Institute of Procurement. She's certified professional in supply chain management. She is certified as a professional in supplier diversity. Denise remains an active member of the Institute of Supply Management, and she currently lives in, you guessed it, New Jersey. And she enjoys spending her time with her daughter, Sterling, and her son, Phoenix. So, welcome the Procurement Queen to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, well, I'm excited for you to be here because my business has just like changed since I was introduced to you. You came on our show, the Black Entrepreneurs Institute Boot Camp, and the night you did the show. See, I'm a person of action, Denise. The night you came on the show, I heard your information and I clicked and signed up right then. I didn't have to wait and think about it and dream about it and all this type of stuff and do kumbaya. I heard what you said, and what you said made me take action. So tonight, folks, get ready to take some action as we talk to the Procurement Queen. So we're just going to jump right in. And this, my first question is, We were talking about this off air, but my first question is, tell me something interesting or fun about yourself.
Yeah, so fun about myself. Most recently, I'm like, my kids call me the bird feeder. I've been feeding all the stray birds. So, I've been buying a lot of the bird houses. They're really cute ones that I found from Christmas tree store for like $10. And I put them all around the backyard, the front of the house, and I just sit in the house and I look at the birds eat their food. So that is my latest thing that I'm doing right now, and I'm just enjoying it. I like the birds chirping. It reminds me of the Caribbean because I'm from Dominica. So I just love the sound. And so, yeah, so that's one of the things that I do
Okay.
for fun.
Okay. All right. That is awesome. So you have a very interesting business niche. So tell us about your business niche and why that's so important.
Sure. So procurement, I'm quite sure some of you guys are like, well, what is procurement? Don't worry. I was there too, right? I had no idea what procurement was all about until I actually applied for the job and got it. And I was like, oh, what is this about? Really? And so what I learned is something that you do procurement every single day in your life. You probably are just new to learning that word. So procurement really is the technical term is the acquisition of the goods or services. That means, how do I buy this coffee mug right here that I'm holding? How do I buy cell phone service? That is all procurement. So on a daily basis, you're going to Costco, you're buying gas, you're trying to see which gas station is cheaper with the credit card and with cash, right? That is all in a sense of procurement. How do you source that? Which gas station should you go to? Do you buy milk as a 1 gallon, or do you go to Costco and buy it in bulk and get 2 gallons? So that is procurement. Now, procurement in regards to as a business owner, think of it in terms of the government and major corporations also buy goods and services, just like you as a consumer are doing it. They too are doing it. But they have a specific method in which they do it, right? When you go to the store, you have your wallet, and you use either credit card or you use cash in order to buy your goods and services. With the major corporations and with the government, they're using RFP process, request for proposals, and they put out bids, and you have to respond to it. And that is how they actually go out and source or buy those goods and services, and how it affects you as a business owner. So I want you to think about what services you currently have. And if it's anything legal, there is some governmental agency and some major corporation willing to buy those goods and services from you.
So what you're saying is there's money out there in the government for your business.
Absolutely. All the time, whether it's toilet paper, whether it's ice, I mean, whether it's the carcass you see on the road, like you see the dare kill or like roadkill, that's also a
Mhm.
contract. Someone needs to come out there and pick up that deer carcass off the street. So all of that is a government contract as well. Absolutely.
Wow. And so I'm excited to dive into some of this. And I'm gonna share with you audience tonight some of the things that is happening in my business since once I signed up for the Procurement Queen service. So why is this important for entrepreneurs, whether they're big or small?
This is really important because it's another income stream as a business owner. So while you're marketing to your base or your core audience, also consider the government as well as a potential client. Major corporations also win government contracts. So when you see those companies like Verizon, they win government contracts too. They're bidding just like you. And there are opportunities for small business owners as well, especially minorities and women-owned business owners. There is a huge push right now to gain more, have more diverse supply chains. And so what they're looking for is not just for you to say, yes, I'm black, I'm a black owned hairstylist. I look black, I got melanin in my skin. No, they want you to go through the certification process and have that validation and that credential behind your salon. And I say salon because there's opportunities for beauticians as well. There's bids for beauticians. The the prisons, for example, hire beauticians and barbers all the time. There's also the nursing homes. They also hire beauticians to do the senior hair and wax. Yeah, wax is on there too. Like wax was in one of the RFPs that I looked at. So even that is a government contract. But a lot of them want you to be certified. So that's really important that you not only say, yes, you're a Black owned business, but you get those credentials to back it up, to give you more access and opportunity for growth.
Okay. And when you say getting certified as a minority owned business, tell us the different categories you're talking about. I know, because I know you sometimes when they hear minority, people think just Black people, but tell us the different categories.
Great question. So the different categories are minority African American, right? You and I, especially myself, I'm African American. Then there's Asian American, Hispanic, and Native American. So those are the four minority groups to think about. If you qualify underneath that, that's one criteria that's needed. Keep in mind that your company also has to be owned 51% or more by any one of those minority groups that I mentioned. So that is also important. That's
You
important when you
said
talk
Black,
about
Asian, what else?
Hispanic
Hispanic,
and Native American.
and Native American. Okay.
Yes. And 51% of your company needs to be owned by any of those four groups. So when you're thinking about partnering with someone else for your business, don't be so quick to say, hey, let's do 50-50. Because the moment you do that 50-50, you won't qualify to get certified if 51% or more needs to be owned by a minority group, by one of those minorities. So keep that in mind in terms of your negotiation. Now, you could always say, yes, we started off as 50-50, but we changed it, and you could do that. You would just need to have your operating documents state in that, and your tax documents need to also be aligned to that. You can't say, yes, I'm 50-50, but then I'm looking at your tax documents, because that's one of the things that I do in my process. I review those documents and say, well, does it make sense? On this page you said you 100%, but I also saw you split it over here with this other person, right? So all your paperwork needs to be properly aligned.
Okay. All right. And then women owned business, right?
Yes, there's women-owned business, whether you're Caucasian or Black-owned, minority again. So if you're a minority and female, in some states have both certifications, like New Jersey, there's a minority and women. In other states, there's one or the other. So it varies from state to state. And for that, again, you need to be female. There's also veteran certification as well. If you were former military, you need to have the letter stating that you released. I forgot what the DD. I can't remember
The
that
DD
number.
214.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. DD
Yes.
214 form. You need to have that document to prove that you're a veteran and you were released. And then there's also, in some states now, they even have LGBT certifications as well. And some states it's in the process and maybe passed relatively soon. So that's another certification that's also available as well. There's
Yes.
service disabled certifications. I mean, there's so many. The more you qualify, the better. Because a lot of these major corporations have goals, right? They have executives, and executives get paid a lot of money. And so their bonus is linked to these goals that they need to meet. And so some other major corporations, and even your local government as well, they may have a goal of, say, 30% of their total spend needs to be going to minority owned, women owned, small, disadvantage owned companies, right? So keep that in mind, that the certifications mean something, but you don't always have to leave with your certification. You still have to have a valuable product or valuable service that's needed. So keep that in mind. The certifications give you access to other funds that other people who don't have the certifications would not have access to. So it's really, really important that you get certified. And some companies get certified in multiple states. If you're an electrician, if you're a plumber, every governmental agency needs that, right? So a lot of those companies are certified in 5, 10, 15, 20 different states and are getting these contracts that are out there in those various states. So
Yes, and I'm going to put in the comments here, but I'm going to just say it right now. So here's some of there's this big alphabet soup that I learned once I signed up for the Procurement Queen services. AABE, which is African American Business Enterprise, right? MBE, Minority Business Enterprise. SDB, Small Disadvantaged Business. VOB, Veteran Owned Business. SDVOSP, Service Disabled Veteran Owned Business. And there's a couple more that are out there as well. And the Procurement Queen said, the LGBTE community, the women-owned businesses, all of those they fall in this alphabet soup. And your business needs to be certified so that you can participate in contracts with local government, state government, federal government. And folks, when you get on those contracts, sometimes it just can go year after year after year after year unless you mess it up, right? So this is why this is important. So now, let's talk about these services that you offer to help people become certified.
Yeah, so I have what's called the VIP package. It's a certification package that's available on procurementqueen.com. Once you pay for that package, I do the entire certification process for you from beginning to the end, tracking it, answering any questions, as well as what they call bid notification. So that way, whenever an opportunity, for example, perhaps you are in the food industry and you're in the state of Texas. Whenever the state of Texas put out any food related bids, you would automatically get an email notification that says, hey, there's an opportunity available, and that is cue for you to see whether or not you want to respond to it. So the VIP package also includes that. Another bonus with the VIP package that I also do is that once I get all those documents, I do like a complete audit on it to see, you gave me this information, but did you also know that you will qualify for this opportunity as well? And so I let my clients know, like, hey, if it's okay with you, I don't mind applying for multiple certifications for you for the same price, right? There's no extra. And so that's one of the bonuses of my services, is that you may pay just for that one certification, but a lot of clients end up leaving with 5, 6, 7 different certifications. So that is something that I'm doing right now. So that's
Yes, and I'm gonna vouch for that in just a second. But I see one of our audience member has a question. Noah Fairley asks, "Do you need to get certified in every state that you're doing business in, or can you just do one and it carries over?"
Very, very good question. It depends on the state. For example, in Virginia, if you're certified there, they have reciprocity where you're able to use that certification from Virginia, do like a quick 1-page type of like application, like a accelerated application, and then you could get certified. I believe it's in Alabama is one other state that they have. So some states do have reciprocity, not every state does.
So
and
like
there's some
Nawar is in Texas, and he also does business in Louisiana. How does that work with states that are connected like that?
So it depends on every state. I will have to go in and see. I know, and there's some backdoor ways to, for example, with the Department of Transportation in one state, if you get certified in that state, then you could get reciprocity in the other state. So it varies from state to state. I would have to look at everything on a case by case basis. Because, for example, New Jersey does not have reciprocity with any other state, whereas some states do.
Okay. All right. And let me tell you what, folks, I'm going to give you some examples of me hearing the information about the Procurement Queen services and her VIP package, and me clicking the button right then and saying, I need this in my business. Here's what happened. Since then, I was already veteran-owned certified, but since then I've become Texas Hub certified, which is a historically underutilized business certification. And I've already received 3 different RFP requests since I got that Hub certification. Hire Houston First certification. I have an RFP that I have to respond to here in Houston because of that certification. Wells Fargo Supply Diversity Program I'm now a part of. Warner, in fact, I was just on a conference call with HEB 2 weeks ago in their Supplier Diversity Program. Coca-Cola Supplier Diversity Program I'm now a part of. Delta Airlines, Discover, Texas Department of Transportation, I'm certified there. Warner Media, I think I said Wells Fargo, but here's the thing, Facebook, right? It was amazing opportunity with Facebook through their Supplier Diversity Program. Now, that wouldn't have come about, folks, if I hadn't signed up for the Procurement Queen services. And I'm not just trying to sell her services. I'm telling you because of my experience of going through the program, what happened. I've been doing business since 2014. This didn't happen before then, right? I signed up with her service, it was earlier this year, right? And all of these things are coming to fruition. So I want to make sure that you understand the value and the benefit that you're going to get out of the Procurement Queen's service. Okay, so if I find something valuable, I'll make sure I bring it to you. So I've said a lot, Denise. You want to add anything else to that?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for that testimonial. I appreciate it. I absolutely love procurement. So if there's any way I can help the business owners, I definitely would definitely go ahead and go above and beyond and do so. What I would like to add to that is to let the business owners know that no matter how small you are, you could like, oh my God, I only have $1,000 in revenue. You could still get your company certified and win a government contract or private companies. So for example, Goldman Sachs is looking for companies that are certified. And in the application process, they even ask you, hey, what is your capability and the capacity? Is it for 1,000 to 5,000? Is it 5,000 to 20,000? Is it 1 million to 5 million? And you would check off that box if you're at 1,000 to 5,000. And then once you do get that contract and you do really good work, then you start to go up in terms of your thresholds and your contract value would then increase. So I want you to know that no matter where you are, you could start if your business is legal and is legitimate, meaning it's either an LLC, it's a corporation, and so forth. There are opportunities for every skill that you have. There was a time when I put out a request for an RFP, and it was for after school programs. And in that after school program, I put in there like science, math, and I had other. Some lady saw that other and she said, you know what? I do yoga. And she submitted her proposal for yoga and won a $700,000 yoga contract.
That's the one I need right there.
It's like, who would have known? She was the only one that did that and no one else. So she won that contract. So there's so much opportunity out there. There's even Tai Chi. They were looking for someone for Tai Chi a few months ago. They put out the bid twice and nobody responded. So don't think that, oh my God, if I'm not going to put in my bid for a training program because there's going to be thousands of people responding. That is so rare. You know, oftentimes I look at the bid tabulation, and when I go through, I have this challenge called the Win the Contract Challenge. And the bid tabulation is where you would see the vendors that responded to the bid or RFP. And oftentimes it may include how much their bid and pricing was. Like, so for example, they may say to do that work, it will cost 100,000. Somebody else might say to do that same work, it will cost 200,000. So that may be part of the bid tabulation that the agency published on your website. And so you may just see two companies in an entire country. And I say the entire country because even though your company is in Texas, you could win contracts in New Jersey. You could win contracts in Florida. Companies compete against state lines all the time. And with this pandemic, a lot of the state agencies have waived a lot of the like registering your company as a foreign business in their state. A lot of them have waived a lot of those guidelines to promote small businesses, to get people working, to award contracts with the money that's flowing through. So there's opportunity for everyone. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer your questions. If you're like, well, what is this procurement all about? I would like you to attend a pre-proposal meeting, for example, which is where you get to meet procurement officials. Either you go in person, or if COVID, a lot of it is virtual now. And then you get to listen to the questions, so you know the suppliers that are there, and they go over what the bid package is all about. And so it's a great way to find out like what this whole process is, who the key players are. So you could go into google.com, type in pre-bid meeting, put October 2021. So you have like a future date. And if you see one available for that date and time, whether it's virtual, you just plug in your headphones and join. You say your company name, you get a familiarity of what types of questions to ask at a bid opening. So it makes you a little bit more comfortable going through that process. And so that's one of the things that I do with the Win the Contract Challenge, which has been my most successful program, where companies have won over $660,000 in government contracts that I'm aware of. Oftentimes they're winning contracts, and I'm finding out that they're winning because I'm doing research for this current challenge class, right? Because in the challenge, I use live bids, meaning I use RFPs from the state that you're in. I use the bids, and we go through the entire process from beginning to end for 7 weeks, which includes coaching as well. So that has been a great challenge.
Yes, and I put the Win the Contract Challenge link in the comments. I have it up on the screen here, but it's in the comments. Whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, all you have to do is click the link, and it's going to take you right to the site so you can sign up for that. Procurement.com. procurementqueen.com, right? You can go right to that website as well. It's in the comments. It's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. I'm telling you, you will not regret signing up for this service for your business. Instant information that's going to bring you instant credibility, instant newness in your business. So Nawar asks another question. He says, is this different from your VIP package? I guess he's talking about the Win the Contract
certification. Yes, it is. It's completely different. The VIP certification package is focused primarily on getting you those certifications, as many as we could qualify you for, and the bid notification. The Win the Contract challenge is like, it also includes the certification, but it's more of a DIY process. So I'll tell you what you need to do. I'll coach you along the way. Whereas the VIP package, I just take it completely over for you. The Win the Contract challenge also goes into how to respond to RFPs, how to respond to bids, how to come up with your pricing, how to create like the vendor protest, right? Because there's some bids that you may respond to, like, well, I should have won it. I was this, I was that. Well, how do you write that up, right? What does that look like to say, well, they should have awarded me that contract or block it? So the bid protest part is also part of that. Attending bid openings is also part of that, to get that experience. It's very hands-on, and the class is not designed for like 100 people to go through, because it's coaching involved. So in the Win the Contract Challenge, we've had participants who have seen RFPs like, Denise, what do I say for that one? How do I respond to that? What questions should I ask? So you get those type of that coaching as you go through the program. And this is the first time that I'm doing it for 1 year. Prior to that, it's been 7 weeks. So you would get 1 year access, 1 year coaching for the very first time. I've never done that as of right now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, folks. So when she says for the VIP package that she handles it for you, all of a sudden I start getting all these emails saying you're signed up in this, you need to go add this information here. And I was like, well, what is this coming out? And then Denise sent me an email saying, hey, I signed you up for this, this, and this, right? So all I had to do then is go in, create my password, and go in and add some personal information that I had. She gets that process started, and yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I'm definitely, because I was one of those people that said I'm not going to get certified with the government, because I knew what it took to get certified as a veteran-owned business. And it's like pulling out your hair, and you guys will see I don't have any, right? So I was like, I'm not going through that process. Then I found the Procurement Queen, and she handled it all for me. It was a wonderful thing. I still had to go in and put in some personal information, but getting that process going and started and all this type of stuff with the major stuff that needed to be put in, she put all that stuff in there, made life a whole lot easier for me. I'm telling you, this is an opportunity. You don't want to say, no, I don't need to do this right now for my business. It's definitely something. And especially in the war, the government does a lot of printing. They print everything. They're killing trees left and right.
Yes. And especially with the elections coming up too, they need to print out the different ballots. All that is government contracts. Yeah.
Right. So Nawar said, does it cost to get a consult?
So it does. On the Procurement Queen website.com, there is, I think it may be like $50 for 30-minute conversation. That's on there as well. But if you're in the Win the Contract Challenge, you don't have to pay 30 minutes every time you're called, to talk or to get questions answered. You're getting that support that you need throughout. So so keep that in mind too. But yes, everything is on procurementqueen.com. I believe it's called Let's Chat or Pick My Brain or something like that on the website. So you can
Yeah,
definitely.
and Christian said, does it don't see the VIP package on the website? How can you find it? So
If you go to procurementqueen.com and you click on services, it would take you down to like the MBE, WBE packages, and that's the VIP package right there, the certification package.
yeah, so you have to get there. There's the MBE, right? And then there's a veteran owned, and let's see the other one here.
So,
The MBE and then the WBE.
Right, and this veteran. Yep. So once if you want the package, just purchase one. If you purchase, let's say the minority owned package, the MBE, if you're female, you're gonna get that one too. So you don't have to purchase both. Just purchase one package, and we get you the maximum certifications that we can get you.
There you go. There you go. Kristen, I see you got it. Awesome. All right. So Noir said, I'm trying to do everything you got.
Come through. I love procurement. I can talk about this day and night. So you do printing, there's graphics, there's lots of opportunities for printers. Absolutely.
Yes. So Deborah said, I am so glad I tuned in tonight. Absolutely. I'm glad you tuned in as well. And Carol has a question. How do we get in the challenge?
Good question. So once you go to procurementqueen.com, you would see, I think it zooms out and it zooms in. It says join the procurement, join the Win the Contract Challenge. There's a link on there. Or if you went to Procurement Queen Academy, you just purchase the bundle that's on there. It says 2 in there, but that's because
if you and Carol, I have the link in the chat as well for joining the Win the Contest Challenge. So just scroll up in the comments. I posted the link for that challenge as well. But if you go to Procurement Queen and then you go under courses, you'll see the Win the Contract Challenge, and you'll see also Procurement Queen Academy, right? But it's listed under courses when you go to her website.
And also Amazon right now is looking for minority-owned, Black-owned businesses really that have physical products. So whether you do bath bombs, they're not looking for books right now at the moment, books or services, but sweatshirts, t-shirts, cards, they're looking for that. So if you're certified, I could definitely connect you to someone that does that at Amazon, and it's to get your physical products in Amazon's marketplace. So that's currently opportunity right now. Also, Planet Honda is looking for certified companies in fitness, food, training. There's so much more. It's a whole list.
I better go get my workout on so I can get my fitness certification.
Yeah, I mean, even that's a contract. People are like, oh my God, I'm a personal trainer. Yeah, that's a government contract. When you see all these major companies having like fitness days that they do the employees, they're hiring companies to come in and do that. So they're definitely looking for that as well. So keep that in mind. Even etiquette training, I know I awarded a contract with like $7,500 for someone to come into the schools and teach the kids how to use the fork, the knife, a spoon, the place setting. That was a government contract.
Yeah, I can teach that. Just pick it up, hold it like this, and
so you could. When I go to weddings, I'm like, okay, is it my left fork, the one furthest away from me? Which one is it? I don't know.
I have to do this. It's what doggone, I forgot what B and D was for. But like you wanted your I forgot, but somebody told me this is B and a D, and yeah. So
that's a contract. That's a government contract that somebody won by doing that. Even when you see people go on career days and they go into the schools and you talk to your kid's school, you could get paid for that. That is the contract. Not everything that the government buys, they'll put out an RFP or bid for. Some things are loopholes, and if you stay under a threshold amount, then you're able to just award you a purchase order if they want to do business with you. And so for something like going into the schools and talking to them about what's it like being a hairstylist, what's it like owning your own laundromat, that contract is about $500 for an hour and a half or so. And when you're in the schools for an hour and a half, that's the contract. That's what your contract says. The kids are going to tell you how fine you are. You got a man, you got a boyfriend, you're married, whatever. That's going to take about 20 minutes. Okay. Then they're going to ask questions. That's another 20. So you're probably only talking about your company for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and you have a $500 contract. So keep that in mind. And that's something I go over in the Win the Contract Challenge, how to do that statement of work so you could do that.
Yes.
How can we supply from outside the United States? So that was the United Nations. So if you're in a different country, I was trained with the United Nations, and they put out a lot of opportunities and bidding opportunities for different countries, if that's what you're asking in terms of
because he's outside of the US. So it's trying to understand how to go. But what you're saying is, can you help them with, is there a certification for the United Nations?
No, not that I'm aware of. Not the last time I looked. They don't. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Canada, I'm not sure where outside the US, Canada does a lot of business with the US, and they also win and compete for contracts all the time too. I'm not sure what specific country.
In Ghana.
Okay. Yeah. So the United Nations is a lot of the work out there. They put out the procurement, the UNDP.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
No,
I haven't seen that, but hey, if you could mix it in with some movement or something else, it's funny.
Yeah, you
have to be creative with it.
Create your own category, right? Exactly. So, entrepreneurs sometimes they start the process, but they're stuck. They don't know what to do next or how to do it. Can you help someone who's already started the application process, but they didn't finish the process, or they partially put in information?
Absolutely. Yes, I could definitely help them with that. Oftentimes we'll find out when we try to read it, because sometimes they forget they even started the process. So it's good that they know that they started, and they would just let me know that and provide me with like the username and password to get in. And once I get in, I'm able to see where they left off or what needs to be completed if the agency has it online. Some agencies are still using pen and paper, and you got to mail it out to them. So there's no username and password needed for that. So every state is different.
Okay. All right. So I want to make sure we're clear. If you started the process, but you're stuck and you need help, you need to be going to procurementqueen.com and signing up. She can still help you. What about TC says, what about counseling and therapy contacts?
Absolutely. There's contracts for that too, especially with mental health right now with COVID. Even going into different major corporations and doing a Zoom on how employees could remain resilient, how could they cope at home, working remotely and everything. That's also a contract. So absolutely.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
One of the ways you could easily find that out, TC, I'm not sure what state that you are in, but let's say you're in New Jersey. So something like counseling and the therapy services are typically under an RFP, request for proposal. So request for proposal tends to be a lot of your services, and your goods tend to be more underneath your bids. Now, they could be a combination of the two, but for the most part, I would go into whatever state that you're in. So for example, if you're in New Jersey, you would do New Jersey counseling RFPs 2021, for example. And you will see the different opportunities that come up, just to give you an idea. Now, you can narrow it down some more and say October. You can narrow it down and say, I don't know, take out the year completely just to see what RFPs are available in your particular state. and read through it to see like, oh my God, I don't even need a license for this one. Oh, they want a license and a PhD for that one. So all that information would be like in the specification or the scope of work section of the RFP. It tells you exactly what they want you to do, and we'll go over what the qualifications are.
Awesome. And say that again. They have to go to Google.
Go into Google. I would just, for example, type in the state that you're in. So I'm in New Jersey. So I would type in New Jersey Counseling RFP, which is request for proposal 2021. And for that, I want to see what is New Jersey putting out there in terms of procurement and proposal related to counseling. If you're specific and you do like behavioral counseling, you can narrow it down some more and put that in there. And that's just to give you a sense of what's out there. So you could take a look and say, oh, I didn't know, there's an opportunity for that, and so forth. Okay. But whatever state that you are in, if they have like a vendor portal, you want to register in that system. So I'm in New Jersey, for example. New Jersey has what's called NJ Start. NJ Start is the state contracting system. So it shows all the bidding opportunities that the state put out. So counseling tends to fall under human services department within governmental agencies. So it may have some opportunities like that available. So depending on whatever state that you are in, look up your state procurement website and go to that and click on where it says bidding opportunities.
Yes. So here's what Delaley said. Is it possible to get someone in the States to register and supply through them?
Yes.
So it's like a subcontractor type.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. You could definitely do that. Yes, it's possible. So if that other company, let's just say I owned a company in Texas and you want to partner with me, I might want to give you I will definitely want to give you a partnership agreement, right? So you want to make sure you have that in place. And then, yes, you could go after opportunities within the state itself.
Yes, absolutely. And you just need to make sure that, you get certified and then that, because then when I just went through this today with replying to an RFP, I had to identify who I was going to subcontract with, if I was going to subcontract with someone, and give all that company's information and all that type of stuff.
Yes. And when you subcontract, and another thing to keep in mind that I go over in the Win the Contract Challenge is you want to check to see if that subcontractor has been debarred. So every state have a debarment list, and you could go into Google and type in New Jersey debarment list, and you want to look through that and say, hey, this contractor, if their name is on that debarment list, you do not put in any bid with their name on there, because the state official is going to do exactly what I'm telling you to do. And if their name is listed on the debarment list, they're going to reject your entire bid. So you want to make sure you check that as well. Okay, good point.
Yes. Awesome. So we've already talked about some financial wins for businesses, or opportunities for business from a financial standpoint. But is this also an opportunity for just some businesses initially may just be getting better understanding of how to fill out a RFP response, or how to bid, even if they don't win the bid, right?
So the question is, how do they do that?
So getting certified doesn't 100% guarantee that boom, all of a sudden now you're going to get this business. Right. But what it does is gives you an opportunity. So then, because you still have to respond to a bid and RFP, right?
Absolutely.
And the first couple, you may not do as well with responding, so you may not win, but you get the practice in doing it.
Absolutely. And this so you don't need the certification in order to respond to an RFP or bid. The certification gives you additional opportunities. For example, in a given state may have set aside opportunities, right? So if the bid says set aside for printing, for example, once they have those words in there, typically in the bid package itself, it would say that you need to be certified. So once you're certified, those are the only companies that they could award contracts to, meaning they could win the contract if they respond and they like everything else that they put in there. only those companies. Now, in some states, what they're doing, since a lot of companies are not getting their company certified, which is why I'm pushing it, because every time you get certified, they're tracking that data, right? Some states have waivers where other groups that are non-minority are saying, hey, you keep putting out this bid for printing that's set aside, and no minorities are responding to that, so here's my waiver. And so you need to award this contract to me. And so some states are doing that. So this is why it's so important that you get your company certified, because it gives you additional opportunity. And not only are you certified, but now you need to use that certification for supply diversity opportunities, for these set aside contracts as well. Your certification is also good for when you go into like negotiate a lease. Like if you're trying to go somewhere and have a storefront, let them know that you're certified. You want to let them know all that, because oftentimes these landlords are also getting some funding, or they have some allocations that they have to do, kind of like those high Section 8, right? So keep that in mind. A lot of things are going on behind the scenes, and not everything is publicized. So which is why it's important that, tell these key business people that you're meeting that you are certified. You never know who's in the room. You never know who's listening. All these major corporations have supply diversity programs. Verizon has one. So when you see a lot of the minorities, like oftentimes on the commercials, or you go into Target, you see the minority-owned businesses, those companies are also certified. They have a supply diversity program. A lot of the times they're not saying the word certify. You're just seeing them, minority-owned business. And you're like, yeah, they're Black like me. But what you don't know is that they went through a certification process and is utilizing Target supply diversity initiatives. So keep that in mind. I mean, I'm saying Target because I shop at Target all the time. But Target, there's Macy's, there's the banks. I mean, there's so many.
Wells Fargo, HEB, which is a grocery store chain, Warner Media, Facebook, Discover, TextDot, all of those have supply diversity programs. Are part of Delta Airlines supply diversity program now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I see Noir said, I will be talking to you Saturday morning at 10. He just booked this session.
Thank you, Noir. I appreciate it. Looking forward to that conversation.
Absolutely. He's on fire. So what's been your biggest challenge this year as an entrepreneur?
I would say marketing. I'm not very good with graphic design or any of that. So, I've hired some people to do a few things for me. So that has been like one of my greatest challenges, trying to come up with the right wording to use. So I'm taking like classes to learn more about that myself. So even as an entrepreneur, I'm taking courses. One of the courses I recently completed last week was Amira Lawson. Amira Lawson does a great job. And this class taught me what the banks are going to be looking for when I want to buy a building. Someday when you drive down the street, I want to see the Procurement Queen building up there. So I need to know, what do I need to do now to get ready, so to position myself correctly, so that way I'm ready to get that loan. I'm ready to purchase that building. And Amira Lawson she's like over $250 million to business owners through like funding in terms of loans with the bank. So she has a tremendous amount of experience. She's like the go-to person. So I recently took her course last week. So that's some of the things that I'm doing. I'm educating myself a lot on things that I don't know. I know procurement, but I don't know banking like that. And so that is one of the things that I've been doing. But I definitely recommend her class if you're thinking about owning a building and trying to figure out the ratios and all that. Yeah, it was valuable.
Yeah, I know Noor has a building in Louisiana. He's going to do something here in Texas. Or he might already have a building here in Texas. So William says, I'm a university professor with the leadership and personal growth business. How can I benefit from this?
You can benefit because there's contract for training. You could go, so get a sense. You go into google.com, type in, let's say, Delta Airlines supply diversity. and click where it says goods or something of items that they purchase, and they'll show you a whole list of things that they actually purchase. And oftentimes, if you do that for major corporations, you just go into supply diversity opportunities and type in your major corporations, you will see training, you will see leadership development on there. Someone needs to help their executives. So Horizon, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield also looks for leadership trainers as well. So all these major companies use your services. As long as it's legal, there's opportunities. Even your own state probably have some professional development opportunities, RFPs that they have going on right now.
Yes, 100% agree with you. Awesome advice there. So, you know, oftentimes we have people that, you know, we have, everybody have different personalities, right? And some people, like I'm a D type person. I take this information and you give me, and boom, I'm running with it. I'm taking action immediately. Like Noir took action immediately, right? Then you have some people who they more process. They take a little bit long because they process the information, and then they may have some questions that they want to ask and all this type of stuff. So how do those people, what advice would you give to those people who they process things and then they may need to get some clarification from you? How would they go about doing that to work with you?
The best way for that would be the Win the Contract Challenge. Because you're learning and you're implementing, but it also is recorded, so you could get the copies of that recording as well. You have access to that for 1 year. And then while you're processing the information, you get to ask questions maybe 2 weeks later, maybe that same day, maybe, you know, a few weeks later or whatever. So that would be the best fit for you, would be the Win the Contract Challenge, because this is the first time I'm doing it for 1 year. Pretty much it's been like 7 weeks, and then that's it. And then you want to join back again, it's another 7 weeks. But I've never had any company repeat the Win the Contract Challenge, to be honest with you. Once they take my class, they know so much. And it's a learning and implementing that they just hit the ground running and go. And every now and then they'll check in, and I'll get a text that says, "Hey, Denise, I just won this $67,000 contract. Hey, Denise, I won this contract and they want me to give them this. What is that?" Right? And so I'm helping them and coaching them along the way with that. So you definitely
So
go ahead.
is it about helping them? Are you helping them with the process of finding the different RPs? Or are you helping them with understanding how to answer to RP response?
In the Win the Contract Challenge, we do all of that. We do all. The difference is with the how to find the opportunities. I would tell them about the vendor notifications, but they would have to set themselves up. Whereas with the VIP package, you let me know the opportunities, and now I created all the bid notifications for you. So with the Win the Contract Challenge, we go over that, but it's more of a DIY. And we also go into how to respond to an RFP. I go into what does an actual winning RFP look like, so you get to see that. That is something that you could also request too. There's this Freedom of Information Act. It's called FOIA. If you see an RFP and you're like, well, I wonder who won that RFP and what did they provide, you could request copies of the winning proposal. So you could go through that and take a look and see what they did versus probably what you submitted and so forth. So that's something that I also do in the Win the Contract Challenge, where I've done that. So I show you these actual winning RFPs. So you get a copy of that. But you could, anyone could do that as well.
Awesome. You said that's a year-long program.
For the first time now.
Yeah.
As of tonight, I don't know. It might change a little bit. Yeah. But it's the program where you're learning and you're implementing. So like we go into things like emergency procurement. When you see natural disasters, whether it's a hurricane, a flood, and you're like, oh my God, all these people are out there helping. You see it on the news. Oh, this company came from Florida down to Texas to help. Oh, this company came from Arkansas. Emergency procurement is whoever it is that could do that job right now, we award that contract. There's no bidding, there's no RFP. So these companies are aware of that. And so they're winning contracts via emergency procurement. So that's another strategy that's that I talk about and go into further detail in the Win the Contract Challenge.
I need to find that emergency leadership development challenge.
That sounds great. That sounds really good. I like that.
I like this. So, and audience, any other questions you have? So, throw that in. But while we're waiting for more questions, or I have some more on my list as well, we're going to play a round of Would You Rather. All right. So we always have this segment on the show. So let me get my Would You Rather sign up on the screen. Would you rather? All right. So would you rather meet your great grandchildren or your great grandparents?
My great grandchildren.
Great grandchildren. All right. Would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
Wow, that's a good one. I would like a life pause button.
Life pause. All right. Would you rather be stuck in an elevator or on a ski lift?
Elevator.
Somebody's afraid of height.
Yeah, I
am. All right. All right. So this is height. Would you rather go bungee jumping or skydiving?
God. I would do bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping. All right. Would you rather be an adult your whole life or a kid your whole life?
Man, I do miss kids. Free food, free rent.
Yeah.
I would say I'll be a kid my whole life.
All right. And audience, I forgot, you normally know, but I forgot to tell you, you can answer these too. Put your answers in the comments. So a couple more here. Would you rather have free Apple products forever or free Wi-Fi wherever you go?
Free Wi-Fi wherever I go.
All right. Would you rather pick your own own your own private island or your own private jet?
Private island.
Private island. All right. Last one. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
$100,000 in real money.
100 in real money. All right. So Noir said he'd rather have the Apple products and he'd rather have his own jet as well. And I take the Noir said the Amazon gift cards too. I take the Amazon gift cards too, because pretty much you're shopping every day, all day on Amazon anyway, right? Hey, what's been the best thing that's happened to you so far this year, other than being on this show? Well, what's been
this year? I wrote 3 books this year.
Did
in
you?
March. Yes. So I wrote the capability statement book, which goes into certifications as well. So it's so much more than capability statement. And I wrote the Procurement Journal. That was born because a lot of business owners would say, Denise, I did not win my contract. I'm like, well, how many did you respond to? Oh, we responded to 2. I'm like, but you had 365 days out of the year. And so that's why I created the Procurement Queen Journal. So that way they could track their process for 365 days. And it also includes like a checklist of things that they could be doing to increase their chances of winning the contract. And then I wrote how to find government buyers. So that's been, and with that book, you need to know, so yes, you're a printing company, but which government agencies is going to purchase printing? How do you find a specific buyer for printing at the agency within your state? And so that book goes into that detail. And all these books are like more like a workbook. So you get to fill it in and write it in as you go along.
Oh, well, I think I'm gonna have to go buy a couple of books tonight then.
Thanks, Cedrick.
I am going to get those books. That seems like some good information that anyone would need to know or want to know for their business. So thanks for sharing that. How I know that they ought to know by now, but I'm gonna ask anyway. How can listeners stay in contact with you and stay connected with you?
They can stay connected. I have a free Facebook group called Procurement Awareness Movement. They could join that group where I share different links and resources in there. Definitely visit procurementqueen.com and Procurement Queen on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm on social media posting different things. PSE&G has a supplier diversity roundtable coming up. So I'm going to be sharing that on tonight. If you're certified, you definitely want to sign up and register to be in the room. And I'll share that link in the Facebook group and on my Facebook pages. So definitely connect. Just go into Google and type in Procurement Queen. I come right up. Go into Amazon, type in Procurement Queen. I come right up. It's Procurement Queen across the board. Just don't ask me to cook you a meal because I'm going to burn it for sure. That's not my thing.
Hey, at least you know your strength zone, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, all right. They asked if I can put your books in the comments. All right. So let me.
It's also on the website too. If you click on procurementqueen.com, I think there's one that says books, and that will give you the link right there.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put
Thank
that
you.
link to your books right online here. Copy that link. So I'll put that in the comments. Let's see. There we go. So the link for her books is right in the comments. Put it on LinkedIn. And now all you gotta do is click on that link and boom, the books will come right up.
Thank you.
And you'll be able to go purchase you some books tonight.
And it comes with a free class too. So when you get the book, you open up the first page, you get a free class in there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Folks, hey, I'm going to have to put up my PayPal here because
oh my
God. We helping you out in a whole lot of ways. So I'm gonna send it. Everybody's getting the PayPal link tonight. Feed Cedrick's children.
Well, you feed the children, I feed the birds. I'm feeding the birds.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So my last question here, I just realized we went over an hour.
It's okay.
So if there was a book that was written about you, what would the title of the book say? And what would the summary in the back of the book say about you?
The title will say, she turns every negative experience into a positive experience and a new opportunity. The back would say that I went through a divorce and I represented myself in my own divorce case against an attorney and was extremely successful. And I started a company because of that called divorcelikeaboss.com, where I teach spouses, some of my clients are business owners, and I teach them how to divorce like a boss in New Jersey by going through the process that saved me thousands of dollars in legal fees. So I'm helping a lot of people doing that too.
Wow. So you helping them grow their business and understand how to divorce like a boss.
I'm good. They'll tell you, not everybody comes out and is open about the divorce part, so I just get texts from them like, oh my God, Denise, this. So yeah, so they.
Okay. That is awesome.
Hey, I turn a negative into a positive. So
that is definitely true. And some of those cases are negative. So I'm sure they need it. Wow, folks, we have been here tonight with the Procurement Queen. I'm telling you, you need to listen to this again. You need to share it with someone. You need to tag them in the message. Any entrepreneur you know, tell them they need to listen to this session. It's on my YouTube page. It's obviously going to be on my Facebook page. It's on my LinkedIn page as well. You need to tag somebody. You need to share this with someone. This information here is too good and too powerful. So make sure you share this with someone and tell them to Google Procurement Queen, or they can go to procurementqueen.com and get all the information that they need. But if they are a minority, female minority, ethnic minority, any type of minority, then they need to know who the Procurement Queen is, because she can help you bring revenue to your business by getting certified and then helping you understand how to go through the bid process, win RFPs and bids and all of this type of stuff. This is powerful. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you again, Procurement Queen, for coming on the show. I bow to you. Thank you for everything you've helped me with in my business. And I thought I was doing great in my business, but you've helped me take it to another level with these certifications. So I really appreciate that, truly.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for asking such great questions. Thank you.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you guys. And make sure that you remember that we have a show, Talk Leadership with Cedrick. Normally on Thursdays, we won't be on this Thursday. We'll be here Friday. Oh no, Friday morning, I will be with a client. So I won't see you Friday morning for Friday Mental Motivation. So I'll see you next Monday night. Oh yes, Miss Kim Claiborne from Lake Charles, Louisiana. She lives in Houston now, but she is going to be, some of you know about Kim Kennison. She is going to be my guest Monday night. So make sure you tune in next Monday night. Thank you guys very much. And remember, as I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Thanks. And don't be on the menu. Bye-bye.